conditions are going from bad to worse with each passing day. Russian missile strikes continue, and that means more misery in the country. Life in Kiev stands paralyzed. Citizens are fighting a battle for survival. With insufficient energy supplies and a never-ending power outage, Ukraine is surely not a place fit for human survival. Russia, meanwhile, continues to tactically attack Ukraine's key infrastructure. Mind you, damaging that is of greater value than anything else. These attacks are leaving Ukraine battered badly ahead of a dark and chilly winter. Such hardships in Ukraine have sounded alarm bells in Europe. The latest event of Russian shelling could very well impact them directly. How? Because it is to do with the continent's ongoing energy crisis. And it's no good news. Hello and welcome. This is Shubhangi Sharma and you're watching First Post. We've got the basics of Europe's crippling crisis covered in our earlier videos. But just to jog your memory, Europe is bang in the middle of an energy crisis after Russia retaliated against the bloc's sanctions. For instance, the Nord Stream pipeline is running dry after Russia cut off supply, and the pipeline was even sabotaged. Now, perhaps the only pipelines carrying Russian gas into Europe, specifically Western Europe, are in grave danger. And these pipelines pass right through the war-torn nation of Ukraine. Moscow sparked a fresh row on Monday by threatening to cut gas flows to Moldova, a country bordering Ukraine, from November 28. It claimed that Kiev was withholding the consignments deliberately as Russian gas passed through its territory. You see, Moldova also had to bear the brunt of blackouts thanks to Russian missiles. So supplies from Russia are the need of the hour for them. On its official Telegram account, Russia's Gazprom, the supplier, said it would cut gas flows through the Sudzha transit point equal to the amount it claims Ukraine is preventing from reaching Moldova. For context, Ukraine acts as a transit point for Russian gas to reach Europe. Currently, Russia supplies Moldova with 5 million cubic meters of gas per day through the Sudzha transit point. The European Union uses a small portion of it for both business and household consumption. While Ukraine and Moldova have denied these allegations, a cut by Russia nonetheless will not help Europe's cause ahead of the winter. Then there is Russian oil, another casualty of the missiles. According to Bloomberg, Russian missiles pounded Ukraine's section of the southern leg of the Druzhba pipeline system for several hours. This also prompted officials to shut down 3 Ukraine-controlled nuclear power plants in Rivnenska, Pivdenukrinska, and Khmelnytska. With a capacity to pump out 2 million barrels per day, the Druzhba pipeline supplies Russian oil to several Eastern and Central European countries, including Poland, Germany, and Hungary. Russia's state-owned pipeline operator Transneft had partially suspended oil pumping on Wednesday and resumed hours later. Although the reason wasn't clear, the missiles seemed to be the likely cause. The Druzhba pipeline is one of the largest remaining hopes for the continent. Depriving this supply to Europe in any way is a recipe for disaster. The European Union now boasts of reducing dependence on Russian energy from 40% in pre-war times to less than 10% now. But it is ashamed to publicly admit that it can't run away from Russian supplies for too long. Vladimir Putin seems hell-bent on making Europe pay for the sanctions. Europe, on its part, is currently desperate for every ounce of gas. You see, Russia has created a twofold problem for its enemies now. First, Ukraine's chances of getting back some electricity remain grim. Citizens will be freezing as the winter approaches. Europe, on the other hand, wants to show that it can assist Ukraine and tackle an energy crisis at the same time, but it has failed miserably here. If you know a thing or two about Putin, don't expect the Russian shelling to stop. And we haven't spoken about the excruciating winter that lies ahead. Temperatures are expected to come down in Europe, even going below the 0 mark in some countries. Lack of electricity in Ukraine and the problem of affordability for Europeans elsewhere means they have been significantly pushed on the back foot. With limited time to go before the temperatures drop, do you expect the crisis to solve itself or get worse? Do let us know in the comments.